Making It Monday, where today we are going to make portobello stuffed, pizza stuffed portobello mushrooms. And this is just kind of a good way to have pizza all the time, but a different way of not having all the carbs. Just a fun way to put in some extra vegetables in your diet, which is also
we all
good.
need, definitely. We don't eat enough vegetables at all.
Right. So we are going to start with, I've already washed these mushrooms, and I'm going to clean them.
And what kind of mushrooms?
These are portobello mushrooms, and I just clean them. I take the stem off, and then I use a spoon, and I go around the outsides and just take the little insides out, the little ribs out.
I've
And these
never done that.
These are edible, but I feel that it's a textural thing. They're kind of slimy. If you're putting a white sauce on it, then it can also make your sauce look dirty, which is just not pretty. And again, if it looks good, you're more apt to eat it. So I just do that and clean all the mushrooms the same way.
And I like mushrooms because mushrooms are a great source of vitamin D. You don't get a lot of vitamin D from other foods. So mushrooms are one of those that are really, really high, and you can throw them into any recipe and obviously make pizza with them as well. I would have never thought about taking the insides out. I've used them before, and I've never
I don't take
taken
the inside out all the time. Like if I'm just going to saute them up with some broccoli or some carrots or something like that.
What if you were going to make them for a burger? Would you take the inside out?
I would take the insides out.
Okay.
Again, it's a textural thing for me. It's a slimy, it's just not as appealing as I would like. So, I'm actually going to marinate this with some balsamic dressing. You can use Italian dressing. I just have balsamic in my fridge pretty much all the time. And this is actually just to give the mushroom some flavor. You don't need a lot. And I just rub it around and marinate them. I won't even marinate them that long. It will just be until we get the mixture made, the pizza mixture made. And by marinating the mushrooms, it actually kind of holds up the integrity of the mushroom, so it'll stay in form. It actually tastes better because you get some flavor into it. And then I feel like if you don't put a marinade on it and you just put them into the oven, then you get kind of a soggy, mushy,
Mushroom.
not appealing flavor.
Could you marinate those overnight? Or
Yes, you can.
Okay, I didn't know if that would
You
make
can do them the
more
morning before, you can do them the night
mushy.
before. Yeah, they're good up to
Okay.
2 days. So the next part of this, after you've marinated and put it in the fridge, we are going to just cut open the turkey Italian sausage.
Let me
Just start this burner. And Anne's going to cook while I start cutting the vegetables. And I just put vegetables in it because why not? You
Another
get some
good way to
vegetables.
get veggies, for
You
sure.
get vegetables in there. Wash my hands.
And this is turkey, so it's going to have a lot less fat than like a pork Italian sausage. And it still has got great flavor, and when you add the vegetables, it gives it more moisture, so it doesn't dry out as much.
Correct. So now I'm going to, while Anne is cooking that, I'm going to add about a half a green pepper and then about a half a zucchini. So I'm going to dice it into small little dices. It's nothing specific. If you like peppers, onions, add what your family likes. Again, carrots go in it well. My favorite thing is to always add zucchini into Italian dishes. It gives it color. It doesn't give it too much flavor, but it gives it just a little bit of extra attractiveness for the meal.
I love how you cut peppers. I think that is the most snazzy way to cut peppers ever. I actually started doing it at home. You taught me
Perfect.
something.
And then you can just put the peppers away for another meal that you decide to sneak vegetables in. So again, I'm only using half. It's about a half a cup. Nothing overly extensive. You can actually make this recipe vegetarian if you would like. Just don't put the meat in it.
So I have a question. So,
Yes.
like when you make pizza, you put usually your toppings on raw. So,
Yes.
what's the advantage of? I mean, does it make it more palatable if you saute them with the meat, or?
So I like crunchy vegetables, but I also like them cooked a little bit in olive oil. It gives it a little bit of flavor to it. It molds it together, but it also makes sure that there's not too much crunch. I like having the added vegetables, but I don't like having
Like the texture of
the
the
texture.
crunchy.
Yeah.
Well, I would think like sometimes when you add like peppers and when you add vegetables, they make it watery too. So
Yes.
it's like sits on top of the pizza and it makes it kind of funky that way. So
I feel like it hides the flavor a little bit more if you cook it beforehand.
gotcha. Okay, this is
And so it's kind of nice if you've got little kids that aren't always used to eating their vegetables. So I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil into it. And this just helps, since we are using turkey sausage, there's not a lot of fat that we get from it, that we're rendering from cooking it. So I'm just using the olive oil so we can saute some of the vegetables. I'm just going to add in the green peppers and the zucchini. And again, we are not cooking them until they're done because they will be baking in the oven. But we're just cooking it slightly for, I would say, about 3 minutes. So while she is cooking up that, I'm just going to prepare our pan, and I'm just going to spray it with the olive oil. Now that the Italian sausage is all browned up, we're going to add some of the marinara sauce. You can use pizza sauce if you want. It's about a half a cup. And this is just going to add the flavor of the pizza. And then I always add some Italian seasoning. Feel free to add whatever you would like. And then I add some Parmesan cheese into the mix. About 1/3 of a cup or so. 1/4 to a half, something like that. And that will just give it some extra cheesy goodness. So we are going to put about 1/2 cup in of the mixture. Just shut this off.
You don't want it to boil or anything.
You don't need it to boil.
Okay.
We're going to cook it in there. So I'm just going to fill it up. You fill it as full as you want it. So again, there's not a ton of vegetables, but it's enough to give color, give texture.
I think in between like the sauce and the mushroom, there's a good 1.5 to 2 servings of vegetables. So that's 2 of your 5 for the day. So that's a great option for a meal.
They're all full. They're going to be a little slippery, as you can tell. We're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. We'll take it out. We'll put some mozzarella cheese on it and let that brown up for about another 10 minutes. And we'll have dinner ready. All right, so now that it's been in the oven for about 10 minutes, we are just going to add the mozzarella cheese to it. We're just going to top it, just like the pizza. You're going to put it on top, and basically we're just browning and melting the cheese. Everything's already cooked, so we're just melting the cheese. And we'll put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. We'll come back, and it'll be all done. All right, so the timers went off, and we've got 3 perfectly delicious. They're nice and brown. That's why I love mozzarella. You can use provolone on top as well. There's not a lot of difference. Okay. So this
Very
way
good.
you can have this for lunch, or you can have it for dinner. It can be a hearty snack if you wanted half of it. Put it
Yeah.
with a side of lettuce, and you're all done.
Delicious. See you next week.